Hello, and welcome to Soothing Pod's Sleep Stories. I'm David, and today I would like you to be my fellow traveler on our shared journey to faraway lands and times. Tonight, I will tell you the story of life in a little town in Liguria. It is a coastal town overlooking the Mediterranean Sea. Here, the sunrises and sunsets are always spectacular, and the stories are as endless as the adventures waiting to happen. But before I begin our story, let's take a moment to be still. Take a deep breath in to relax your whole body. As you exhale, let your shoulders become heavy on your bed. Relax the muscles of your face, your forehead, your cheeks, your jaw. Another breath in, holding it for a couple of seconds, and slowly, without rushing, release the breath. Together with any thoughts that grow heavy on your mind, let's take all those thoughts you just let go of them and release them with a last inhale. And another exhale. When you are ready, I'll begin the story. Once upon a time, there was a land where time never stood still. For how could it? Facing the open sea, the inhabitants of this land in Liguria would wake every morning, just as the church bells sang. Fishermen would meet in the Molo harbor to untangle nets from the night before. The wind would push its whisper past little boat sails, not stopping until it found a child's cheek to kiss. And if you were the first boy or girl to steal out of your bedroom slippers into warm and waterproof boots, you might have wandered down Via Cavour Street when nobody was looking. Except, perhaps, the tall African man, Sheikh, who sat in front of his shop selling his wares. You might have passed the first rows of Vestas, waiting for their owners to take them on a journey. You might have stepped over a few pigeons in the wide open square. They never need to go anywhere, it seems. As you walk closer to Molo's mini port, you would have heard the rattle of swaying sail masts. Then you would have wandered a little until you reached the stone steps just underneath a massive castle. Gong, gong, gong. The bells of the San Francesco church would have suddenly pealed, their chimes calling out to another castle across the bay. You would have seen that other castle from where you stood, the smaller Castello of San Terenzo in the distance. Beside it, another parish stands, and its bells too ring out in reply. Listen, can you hear and see them now? Perhaps two bell ringers saluting each other just before the day begins, before Sunday Mass brings the multitudes. and before the square is too crowded with folks on foot. Yes, they are calling to each other and to the villagers. All is well. A new day is dancing. Gong, gong, gong. For just the night before, there was a very strong storm. Waves lashed the castle's walls, its moans making a sad sort of music as all the little children slept. But now, the bells are singing again. And one bell ringer answers to the other in reply, a rallying promise. All is well, all will be well, for this sea is our sea, the wind our song. Our harbour has withstood the harshest beatings, the battleships, the pirates, the past, and from our castle's lookout tower we gaze toward the sun, toward today, and to our future. After the sound of singing bells settles, it's time to fill your tummy. The pretty orange trees that line the stone path plump up your imagination. You imagine them as balls of magic that sometimes fall to the earth below. You walk until you reach the crystal bistro, where lights flicker low. You know that behind the glass windows is the cafe's cozy corner, where you can sip hot chocolate with cream. You follow the scent of crispy pistachio brioche, the baker basting them with extra butter. You enter the bistro and gaze at all the choices. Chewy focaccia bread, apple and apricot pie, a pile of ham and cheese sandwiches, cinnamon crumble, and Nutella stuffed goodies. You sit down to wait for your mother, who always delights in ordering you up piping hot chocolate. She told you she would meet you just after the church bells rang out at 8 in the morning. And Mother always keeps her word. The woman behind the bar smiles as she takes the customers' orders. Here, many sip their day's first coffee from tiny espresso cups at the bar. For in Italy, the bar is a lifestyle, a meeting place, a sweet family affair. Mother arrives, her olive green shawl swirled around her neck, in her hands 2 books and a pencil. Your mother is a writer. She creates words that dance on the pages of her books, and when she reads those words aloud, she rouses whole sleeping cities to life. The bartender knows your regular order already. She doesn't need to ask. 1 cappuccino, 1 hot chocolate, 2 mini croissants. You like the kind piped with apricot jam. Mother prefers hers made from integrale, whole wheat and nothing else inside. You and your mother often sit in cafes and bars together, creating. She with her writing and books, you with your tiny yellow notepad and your imagination. On weekends like this one, you are both awake before your father and brother. Because it is the early mornings before dawn, Mother believes, when the sun rays have just dipped into a shimmering sea. That real magic happens. She tells you she wants to pass by the pescaria, a small fish market on the way home. It is here that the fishermen bring in their first catch of the day. and you can gaze in wonder at all the beautiful sea creatures lying still on ice. After a long and lazy hour in the cafe, you suggest a stroll to the fish market. It is just across the road, where seagulls caw overhead, waiting for their lucky catch. You could watch the fishermen at work for hours, their hardy hands holding tight to the ocean's offerings. The first creature you spy is a wriggling, writhing octopus, its long legs and tentacles dancing in protest. You read somewhere that they are intelligent creatures, and it hurts you a little to see them writhing in fishing nets. Indeed, the octopus is not only intelligent, but legendary. Here, in the little fishing villages, legends and tales have been spun about the mysterious creature. With its soft, squiggly body, 3 hearts, and neurons on their arms, the octopus has escaped many a fisherman's net. Then there are the curious gallinella fish, with their spiky crown, dorky fins, and comical clown eyes. Your mother cooks a tasty stew with the entire fish, from head to tail. You can smell its fragrant aroma already. But it's the little shrimps you love the most. They are piled high behind the counter's glass, each tiny one with giant, bulging eyes, long antennae, and bright orange tails. You tug on your mother's coat and beg to buy the shrimps. "Please, Mama," you cry. "Those ones look so tasty." Your mother smiles, first to you and then to the woman behind the glass counter, who points out that the catch was pretty good this morning. She offers to clean all the fish and fills the bag with an assortment of shiny shellfish, crustaceans, and delicious seafood. "This will make a tasty seafood soup," your mother smiles, "and we will even have some left for the grill." Your mouth starts to water, and you can smell the charcoaled, crispy skin of the fish already as it sizzles atop a blazing fire. For if there is anywhere that you feel most comfortable, comforted, and secure, it is in your mother's kitchen. She has a way of preparing the food that makes you feel like everything will be all right with the world. You listen as she gently asks the lady to clean and wash the gallinella, and as she reaches for her purse to pay for this catch, you can hardly wait for lunchtime. Walking out onto the stone pebble street, you ski a little, lifting your feet in rhythm to a song in your head. You ask your mother if there's still time to walk by the castle. "Of course," she says, "but after lunch when we can catch the sunset." Turning on to the next corner, you grasp mother's hand and walk in step with each other's feet. It is these little moments together that you look forward to most, when you feel you have more time to stroll. After lunch, it is siesta time. All the shops in the village close for a break, and their owners go down to the beach or retire to their private homes for a nap. You find it hard to nap in the middle of the day, but you spend it doing something quiet, reading fables, fairy tales, and legends of the lovely Ligurian Sea. After a lot of reading, sailing, adventuring through the pages of your well-worn books, you might start to draw a little, making the outlines of characters you have read about come to life on blank pages, your pencil scribbling randomly. Someday, you hope, you will draw as well as the famous artists whose works you have sometimes seen in fairy tale books. And maybe you will even write a story of your own. You doodle dancing fairies and flying seahorses. You draw mystical mermaids and pirates on the prowl. Soon, after you have drawn a while and coloured until you can colour no more, you remember Mother's promise to visit the castle at sunset. You gently knock on her door and ask her if she would like to walk now. Yes, now is a good time. She looks up at you and lays aside her work. You prepare your jacket, lace up your boots, and start to head towards the water, your hand in hers. A reef of clouds, laced with sunlight, sails overhead, spreading to the sea. The castle's facade stands regally, overlooking rooftops of the little city. Streaks of light illuminate the hills just above, defining their olive-green slopes and the cluster of pastel pink villas stacked atop each other. A rust-colored tanker plows its way past islands in the distance and steadily onto a bigger city's busy port. At the foot of the looming castle, you feel so small, but so special. At that moment, the bell chimes again, and you recall the song you heard. Or was it only in your mind that it played? The singing bells, the call of one bell ringer to the other, that promise, all is well, all will be well, for this sea is our sea, the wind our song. Our harbour has withstood the harshest beatings, the battleships, the pirates, the past. And from our castle's lookout tower, we gaze toward the sun, now setting, toward today and to our future. As the bells peal, the music fades slowly, casting spells on the waters below. The castle of St. George standing strong. Mother, tell me the story of St. George and the dragon, please, oh please, you beg. You have heard it 1,000 times, but Mother loves telling you the tale. Once upon a time, your mother smiles. There was a land where time never stood still, and there lived a knight named George, who served the king and queen of the land. The sun dips its rays lower, turning the dark open sea into a shimmering bath of diamonds. On the streets, the lamps blink on, one by one. A cape of crimson light slips between laundry lines and undergarments. You gaze into your mother's eyes, follow the sweet movement of her lips, and listen as she soothes you with another enchanting tale. You love her stories, her song, the song of the sea. You feel relaxed as if you are drifting on the waves in the distance, as if they are carrying you up to the starlit sky above. And you let your imagination wander as she tells you the tale. You let her words wash over you like water on the shore, like the full and golden glow of a glistening moon. Tonight, like every night, you will take the stories, wrap them up in your heart, close your eyes, and allow them to carry you away into a dreamland. In that land, there is enough time, enough tales, and enough twilight to see all of those beautiful dreams come true. I hope you enjoyed this story and the Song of the Sea. Good night. Sleep well. and I'll be with you again tomorrow, here on Soothing Pod.